Hello everyone and welcome to Isms by Josie. Today we're going to be doing a beach-inspired nail design. I started out by stripping that beautiful Valentine's Day design I had the other week. It's the third video of my Valentine's Day series. It is also the collaboration video that I did with CraftyB's channel. Maria is such a talented nail tech, and I so enjoyed doing the video with her, and very sad to see that design go. But moving forward, I'm going to keep the heart hole in this nail, and I'm going to turn this nail into an aquarium. We're going to make this a square shaped tip and make it into a really pretty aquarium. So I'm just going to take a Gelish Hard-Gel, and I'm going to be taking my Mia Secret nail form, and I'm just going to form this and apply this to my thumbnail. Now you're going to see that the color of my tip is definitely not the color of the hard gel, but I'm just going to build this out here, and it's definitely going to blend. So just be a little patient. But I'm just going to exaggerate the shape a little bit because I want to achieve a really good C curve on this nail to create more space for me to add my glitters and decals. And on to the other side. And this is kind of like a lazy method just because I didn't strip this nail entirely. But it will work. You just need to, I'm kind of applying a little bit of pressure underside this nail form to make sure that it's really secure under the tip so that it's making a smooth transition. But after curing and nail cleansing that, I'm going to take my clear coat and I'm going to apply it to the underside of the nail. And as you can see, it's just blending in together well. And I'm just going to go in with my file and just smooth out those edges and the tip. And I definitely filed off frame, but you can basically see what I'm trying to get at. So I'm going to take some hard gel and I'm going to form the underside of this aquarium. And you just want to make it wide enough for the size of your nail. And then I'm going to go back in and make it a decent thickness so that it doesn't bend or break. And I did hover my tip over this rectangle to be sure that like I made it long enough and wide enough. And then I'm also going to go in and make the ends of this aquarium. And we're just eyeballing the shapes here. The forgiving part of this is that you can file down as much as you need to create the shape you want. So give that a cure, and I'm cleansing off the sticky layer and filing down the edges. We're going to be using the top side of this cure for the inside of the tank, and the flat surface that the backing created as the exterior of the aquarium, so that there's really minimal filing for some of these sides. But after filing that down, I'm going to take my tweezers to hold it, and I'm going to apply the top coat on the top of this rectangle, and apply hard gel on the edges here to create a bonding seal. And we applied the clear coat on top of that rectangle because we're going to be making that as the interior side of the aquarium. So it's definitely good to, the magic of clear coat definitely is one of my fun things to do, especially when you do overlays, especially when you're filing and you see nothing but scuffs and file dust everywhere. And after you cleanse and apply a clear coat over it, it always reveals the, depending on what you have, the clearest or clear nail that's underneath. So I'm just applying this underside, and I'm trying to leave room for one of the end caps. And after curing that, I'm going to go in and put a generous amount of hard gel to seal in any cracks that there might be on the sides. And this doesn't have to be super perfect because we'll be going back in to file down and smooth out those edges. Now we're going to do the same thing on the other side. And as you can see that this aquarium is already beginning to form. After giving that a cure and a nail cleanse, we're going to go in with the file and this little end piece here. And to be on the safe side, you just want to keep filing as little as possible and always keep matching it underneath the nail tip, and remove or file off the edges as needed. That way you avoid over filing and not having enough of that end cap to close off this space here. So I'm just going to go in with hard gel and apply it on the edge here to adhere that part of the aquarium. And then I'm going to take my tweezers to hold the end cap, and I'm going to go in with my brush, and I'm going to apply a generous amount of hard gel on the edges, not too much that it is too much, but enough to where you slide down this cap into your underside your nail tip, and the hard gel will just squish into the gaps and seal that side. And after curing that and cleansing it, I'm going in with my nail clipper to just remove some of that excess so that this filing part here isn't a lot. And I'm going to file down the tip as well and prepare that. Next, I'm using these glitters. I'll leave a link in the description box below, but I'm just going to shovel this inside the aquarium tip. And you don't need to put too many things in there. I'm going to throw in this Starfish decal and 2 clamshell decals with some pearl beads and the little crystals. And just enough to give it some different textures. I'm just going to add more of this blue glitter to give it more darker color. And then I'm just going to take this spatula again and just pour in the water. I mean, I have a big enough hole in this tip to do that. If your tip isn't as big as mine, then I would definitely recommend using some form of syringe. I did an aquarium tip last year, and there's like a few second video of it. And for that, I think I used like the polygel spatula. So you can try that as well. So now I'm just going to take hard gel and apply it to the edges of this tip here. And then I'm going to be taking the other end cap that we created before, and I'm going to do it to where I put the smoothest edge on the outside. Again, this is going to create like an opportunity for less filing after this. So I'm just going to place this on top. To get myself back in frame. Just gonna move this a little bit. And you can put pressure, but not too much pressure. You don't want to squeeze all of that hard gel out. Just enough to fill in all the gaps. And then I'm going to give this a cure. And then I'm going to go back in with some more hard gel and make sure that all the edges are sealed. And you want to go in with the generous amount because we're going to be filing all of this down flush and smooth, and you want to be sure that you have enough hard gel to fill in the gaps and enough thick enough layer to prevent creating holes as you're filing. So now I'm going to go in with my nail file, and I'm going to be filing down these edges flush to the tip. Just be very mindful of how much you're filing, where you're filing, because if you don't, there's a possibility that you'll create a hole, and the water that you put in there will come out and get over everything. If you want, I don't like to, but you can use baby oil so that the movement of whatever's inside is more fluid and smooth. I mean, I just would rather use water. Oil tends to get a little messy. So now I'm going in with my buffer, and I'm just going to go all around lightly this nail to smooth everything out and remove the scratches. moving on to my ring finger, I'm going to form this nail form, and we're going to apply hard gel right where that whole heart lies. So we're going to put a nice amount right here, just thick enough to create like a window. I'm going to slip my nail onto here and apply pressure like this. Make sure it's all nice in there. Give it a good cure. We're going to remove the nail form, and you're going to see that it created a little window, a little feature window. I'm going to file off the excess and then nail cleanse the sticky layer off. Now I'm going in with my foundation gel. And I'm going to apply this to each of my nails. Undersides of the tips as well. Some of these nails will be translucent, others will be opaque. I really love how clear this hard gel is. Putting foundation gel on my pinky, you can see that the icicle texture from a few weeks ago is still on there. And for my ring finger, I'm going to be applying some hard gel right here and saran wrap, and we're going to create that icicle texture again. Just because underside we're going to be painting on a translucent bluish color, and it's going to make it look like the ripples of water. And now cleanse the underside and apply my foundation gel on top. And you just want to be sure that you don't overflood that hole in the heart, because then you'll lose its shape. And of course, applying underside to make sure that this whole tip here is translucent. And as you see here with the thumbnail, I'm applying the foundation gel on top of the nail, and I'm going to be doing it to the underside and the tip, and it's going to create this tip to be very clear. And just to mention again, the aquarium nail that I did a year ago, I did with polygel, and that polygel wasn't the clearest. So that aquarium did look a little muddy, I guess. But this hard gel stuff is just so clear. Just giving this a good nail cleanse. As you can see right through it. So we're just removing the sticky layer off of each nail. As you can see here, right now I made this, it's fresh, it's hasn't had time to settle in. The glitters haven't had the opportunity to soak into that water yet, but as you can see, it's starting to get some movement in there. And the longer you wear it, some magic evaporation happens somehow, because that air pocket needed to make that movement. You know, as this being day 2, I can see that the air bubble is a little bit bigger and definitely more flexible inside this aquarium. So, but as you can see here, there is that movement going on, and it only gets better over time too. So definitely looking forward to that. So now I'm going to apply this Sheek white gel polish from Gelish. And we're going to put one coat on my index finger and my ring finger, and we're applying a generous amount on this. The coverage on this is pretty good, so that's why I'll really only need one coat of this. But we're going to be careful not to get any of this on the reveal window here. And we're going to cure that. Now I'm going to take some of this clear top coat, and I'm going to mix it in with this Porn Pretty stamping polish. I'm using that because I really like that blue color. We're just going to mix this in. Just going to add a little more. So we want to make it translucent, but not too translucent. And I'm going to apply this to the underside of my pinky here. And with the texture underneath, it's going to make this blue water look like there's ripples in it. And I'm just going to put some of this also underside my aquarium nail to give it that sea water look. And see, so even though we mixed a good amount of that blue, it's still pretty translucent. Giving that a cure. And now I'm just going to take some hard gel and I'm going to mix that into our blue mixture. And I'm going to create a little thickness here to put on my index finger. And we're going to be applying these starfish on there. And after that, we're going to place a saran wrap on over the entire thing to create the ripple texture that we did on the undersides of the nail. And this is going to create a rippled water look. And these starfish I got on Amazon. They're mini starfish decals, I guess. And they're fairly stiff. So when we encapsulate these starfish with the hard gel, we're going to have to pour it on thick. So I'm just going to do the same thing to the middle fingernail. We're applying this blue mixture on top of the nail, and then we're going to adhere a few bits of those starfish onto the nail. I just want to pick some random pieces. I mean, the surface of these nails aren't that generous, so we don't want to pick too big of a starfish. So after curing that, I'm going to be taking some Shiny and we'll be moving on to my pinky nail. And I'm going to be putting down a layer of that. And after I've done so, I'm going to sprinkle some of this blue glitter. And I'm trying to get an ombre effect. give that a cure, and we're putting another layer of Shiny. And now switching over to the Iridescent Glitter, giving that a cure. So moving on to the thumbnail, we'll be doing the same thing by putting a clear coat of the Shiny and doing the glitters and sandwiching those in. After giving that a cure, I'll be moving on to the ring finger, and we're going to do the same thing, except we're just going to do the iridescent glitters on that one. So now I'm going to take my file and we're going to go into the index and middle fingers, and we're just going to file down some of that excess hard gel that escaped from the plastic wrap. We're going to smooth down these edges, as once again I am out of frame. I tell you, when I get into designing, I completely forget that I'm filming. So it is a bit frustrating on my end that I had done that myself and went off frame. But anywho, so now we're just going to go in with a generous amount of hard gel. And as you can see, I mean, this is going to end up being a thicker nail. After doing the, I believe it might have been the first video of the Valentine's Day series, I sandwiched in those metal hearts. I had filed down those nails thin, and I didn't like doing that just because it weakens the nail when you're filing down to it to remove whatever overlay you have in there. So this nail is definitely going to be a thick nail. I didn't go too thin on my index or middle finger. I made it like as if I would normally make a nail. And again, those starfish are pretty stiff, so I have to compensate by adding more hard gel because I don't want to end up filing down to the point where I'm filing part of that starfish off. And I kind of did the same thing in the metal hearts video. I didn't put enough hard gel on there trying to keep a thin nail, and I ended up filing down the colors on some of the hearts. So before then it didn't really matter to me, but in this case I definitely wouldn't feel too happy about filing down an arm of the starfish. So I'm just gonna make sure that that doesn't happen. So I'm just really filing away here. One of the issues with this was just making sure everything was not only like filed down from the thick nail that it is, but also smooth, considering there was a lot of texture going on in there. And here, as you can see, I'm just going to be going down the file grits, or going up the file grits to reduce the scratches. And that's pretty much what you do it for. Moving on to a buffer, we're going to lightly buff the nails. So next step is the decorating. I've taken some of these crystals, and right now I'm going to use some Shany striping polish and mix it in with some of this hard gel to give it texture. And I'm going to be detailing some seaweed that you would find underwater. And we're just going to be applying it like so. And this is me forcing myself to just get more comfortable freehanding. After the Valentine's Day, a third video, I've been inspired to work more on my freehand skills. And as you can see, it's a quite bit amount of work, but it's really fun just because there's no real order to it. It's just creating these flowy lines. The hard part is finding balance. You don't want it to be too cartoony. So I'm just trying to kind of do the same that I do on one side to the other, but kind of put some variation in it to make it look like a more natural looking plant. And for anyone that intends on mixing regular polish with gel polish, depending on how much you put, it's going to take a longer time to cure. So what normally would take me 30 seconds, I definitely would have to leave longer, and my lamp goes up to 60 seconds, and I definitely had to recure a couple of times after it, because I really had mixed that dark green one with more regular polish than hard gel ratio. But I'm just going to take the lighter green that I mixed with the hard gel, and I'm just going to accent some of these seaweed pieces by giving it an extra layer. And I tried to make it to where everything works together. So the textured water, the textured colored water is flowing through all nails. And that seaweed that I just put, I have it on my thumb and my ring finger. So I'm just applying some Gummy Jelly by Couture and putting some Shiny over that. And I'm going to end up just applying this to the whole nail. And I'm just going to adorn this thumbnail with some of my crystal and decal pieces. So again, just trying to tie in these separate design thoughts together. So each nail has the blue water in it, and then the thumb and the ring finger have the seaweed. The ring finger and the index finger have the white background, and the index finger and the middle finger have the starfish on there. So it's definitely relating to one of another. But yeah, so applying these jewels and stuff, I just didn't really have a strategy. I was just thinking make it colorful and apply in random places, really. So after we put the finishing touches on that, I will cure that and move on to the next nail, which will be my ring finger, and we're going to do the same thing that we did on the thumbnail. The difference with this nail is that we do have that heart reveal. So I'm going to do what we did in the last design, and I'm lining the heart shape with these tiny crystals. I can tell you, I think I'm very disappointed with this video editing app that I have. If you've seen in my description for all my videos, mostly I do my editing on this app called Splice, and it's just really not been working well lately, so I keep doing the voiceovers over again and it's not saving, so I'll have to redo it, which is probably why my voice is cracking at this moment. But also I know I edited some of these frames here, and it's not really showing. Maybe it didn't save. No idea. But anywho, I lined that heart reveal with these little crystals, and now I'm just going to randomly place what I have. So, Gummy Jelly and Shiny definitely help smooth out the glitter overlay. As I'm doing this voiceover, I'm just going through a lot of stuff right now. Like, I'm getting hungry. This video is about like 45 minutes, so you just need to imagine doubling that. Because I have to listen back to it and make sure that things are taking, especially with how this app has been performing lately. But yeah, really annoyed about this app. So anyway, I'm gonna go in with my clear top coat, and I'm applying that on my index finger, and middle finger. I'm gonna give that a cure. Doing the same thing to my middle finger. And after curing that, I'm just going to go in and nail cleanse each nail. If you haven't noticed, I held off on that just because I wanted to get all this other stuff out of the way too, so I can do one good cleanse as opposed to cleansing at each step. Now I'm going to go in with my Nourish Cuticle Oil from Gelish, and we're applying this around each fingernail. And I'm rubbing this in. And this is the end result. These are my beach inspired or under the sea inspired nails. I was actually asked by a fellow YouTuber how I did my aquarium nail. So I was more than happy to recreate my aquarium nail because I really enjoy things under the sea. And doing the aquarium nail was fun. So here is a close-up of that. And this is the aquarium nail. One thing I found is just having a hard time showing the action in the nail because in order for the camera to focus, you have to hold it steady. So moving things around like this, like you can see the movement slowly inside there. But yeah, cameras don't really like that unless you have a really good one. And this is pretty good, but it's my phone, so it can only do so much. But yeah, I mean, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. I wanted to give a shout out to Nails with Sadie. She's the YouTuber that asked me how I did my mermaid nails, so hopefully now you'll be able to see how I did it and try it out yourself. And I really love the set. It's a nice breakaway from all the winter and Valentine's Day nails. It's a little early for the summer, but I am so ready for the summer and I just want it to happen already. Well, there you have it. This is Isms by Josie. Please share, like, and subscribe for future videos. And if you have any designs or techniques you would like for me to do, just let me know. I'm always down to trying things out. But again, thank you so much. I will totally see you next time in my next video. Thanks. Bye.